So someone requested a video on TikTok feederism. They point to Jellybean sweets. I tried to take a look a little bit more into feederism on TikTok, but I think it's semi-censored because it was really hard for me to find anything, and no one's really covering it in terms of articles or anything. So I'm really kind of struggling to find things. So I figured today we would do a spotlight on Jellybean sweets. If TikTok feederism is something you guys are interested in, please let me know. Look more into this and try to find more information. But for today, we're just going to go through some of Jellybean sweets. This is going to be more of a spotlight than a year in the TikTok, mostly because so much of our content is the same. But I figured we would take a look at something from like over a year ago versus some of her more current stuff to just kind of do like a comparison. So she did do some of these like viral trends like the ice cream and fruit roll-ups, but then she also had stuff like this.
Oh, that's the place of Just Dance. My cat's here. Luna. she never comes down here while I'm dancing. We'll see how long this lasts. Oh, that's it.
So she did a lot of like Just Dance stuff, some viral food trend stuff, but it wasn't as much about like feederism type content, although as we can see it slowly started to go in that direction. But even this, she was still eating like Subway, not super greasy stuff, not super healthy stuff, but not super greasy stuff or unhealthy stuff. She more like trend stuff, my red flags. She also did some with these like outfits. And it's literally just like little dance trends. So like it looks like she's always been fairly body positive, but and like trying out some different foods. Like it seemed like she'd like to try out different foods, but even some of her
Picked up toxic waste candy today, so let's see how sour these really are. Alright, let's see here. Oh my goodness. I guess I'll go for lemon. Let's go for lemon. Actually smaller than I thought they would be. I thought they would be like the size of warheads maybe. But let's see. They're not that bad. I think warheads are sour. Like more sour than this. Because with warheads, it hits you immediately. With this one, it's like after a few seconds, it hits you. Yeah, that would be a lot more sour than that.
But see, this is the kind of stuff she did before. This wasn't really like this was trying candies. It was just like general, even her meal stuff. Here, I'll show you guys this one too. So I don't want to show too much because it is using a Taylor Swift song in the background. But like it just yes, she's eating on camera, but it's not huge amounts of food the way she does later, and I'll show you guys that. And it's also just like it's more like an eat with me than a mukbang. So I think I've given you guys like a pretty good indication. Like eat at IHOP with me, and while she eats like a fair amount, it's still not quite the same as what she does later. And as we can see, it's getting progressively more like fast food, greasy food, fried food. We get more and more hamburgers as time goes on. Look at these whole collection of ice creams that she's eating. Lots of sauce stuff, lots of burritos. We see a lot more of this as time goes on.
So everybody in the comments loves to come for me saying I eat so much fast food, which I mean I have been getting a lot of fast food. But about half of what I get actually goes to my dad. There's we have like a nickname for my dad in this family. He's the human like trash can almost. Which I know sounds so bad, but we mean it in a loving way because he'll eat all like the leftovers and like things that are expired in the refrigerator, and all of us are like, I don't know if you should be eating that, Dad. But he loves any sort of leftovers. He tries to eat everything in the fridge. He doesn't like to let things go to waste. And so he'll probably eat some of this burrito, honestly, because this is huge.
So she doesn't even eat the whole burrito from the sounds of it. It's still like she's eating definitely more fast food through this era, but right now we're still in 2023, and she's at least trying to make the excuse that her father eats a good portion of her food, so she's not eating it all. And I would like to, like, as you can see, I'm going ahead and like showing you guys the looks of her content over time. She doesn't do Just Dance anymore. She doesn't do those dance trends anymore. She did a little bit of body positivity content before she started with these mukbang sort of things. Like it's just progressively become all food. Like progressively become just all food. And you can see that she's gained a little bit of weight as time has gone on. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one.
Yeah, wings style, of course. First thing, celery sticks. The fry, of course. Blue cheese as well.
So where before she was kind of showing one item that she was eating, this one she makes it look more like she is eating a whole variety of stuff. Now, how much of this is she eating on her own and how much is she giving some to her family and stuff? I don't know. But this is still, we are still at December of last year. She posts all of those food videos that we saw. This, we're still not even into 2024 yet, and we only started at I think August of 2023. So she eats a lot of fast food and a lot of unhealthy food fairly regularly. So here is a dance trend. It looks like she's finally posted some. So just like general dance trend sort of stuff. And then more and more fast food, like burgers and burritos and Chick-fil-A and Burger King. And for Buffalo, I forgot the name of that place, but you guys get what I mean. Chipotle, more Chick-fil-A, Subway, I think that's Taco Bell. But you guys kind of get the idea. Now, we've looked at a fair amount of her stuff. I would really like to get us like further into 2024 before I look at another one of hers. But as you can see, like we got a few dance trends, but once again, we don't have much other than her eating. And the thing is, she posts a lot. She posts like a fair amount. Let's try this.
Just got canes, and one of my favorite things to do when I get canes is to make the like taco with their bread, chicken, fries, coleslaw, whatever you want to put inside of it, really. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. Like split the bread apart down the middle. Should probably do it a bit nicer than I did it. Put the chicken tender in the middle. Put some, oh, I forgot cane sauce, yes. My gigantic thing of cane sauce. Put some of that on top.
Ooh. I'll be honest, I'm not a saucy girl. That looks disgusting to me.
Yum. Put some of the fries down the middle.
I also don't understand why chicken strips and fries are also served with bread. Like it's not that I've never seen this before. I've seen it before. I just don't understand it. It's like I have the carbs from the fries. And honestly, the fries are better than the bread in most circumstances. So why the fuck would I want the bread? You know, I mean, clearly she wants the bread. She apparently makes this weird taco thing out of it, but still.
Here. Ooh. That's what it's looking like. And then take a bite. Mmm. It was so good.
Okay, I can't watch anymore, but you guys kind of get the idea. Like, she's clearly, her way of eating just seems to have gotten messier as time has gone on. She was always kind of a sauce person, but it just feels like she's gotten messier with her eating. The more that we kind of see her, and I could be like misinterpreting that, but so this is definitely a breakaway from her content before. She's showing all the different sauce and stuff she's going to add to her burrito instead of kind of just kind of eating it or doing what she's going to do with her burrito and then eating it. Like, she's kind of making a more production level out of this. She's showing herself. I will be curious to see. I don't know if we're gonna watch all 4 minutes, but I do want to see if she starts talking at any point, or if this becomes more about eating and the sounds of eating, because then that would lead to more clearly this is where she's kind of turned into more of a feederism sort of thing, or at the very least, like a solid, like the ASMR mukbang sort of person, which to me kind of flows into feederism a little bit. Not always, but a good portion of the time. Yeah, see, she's gotten far messier with it. Yeah, how does the sauce on your hands not bother you? Because this is where it starts to, at least for me, this is where we're seeing more like fetishy sort of content, because I don't know much about feederism, but I do know that there's like a level of being messy with your food that seems to go into it. There's a lot more slurping noises than there were before. Even with her, when she was eating the noodles, she didn't make these sorts of noises while she was eating, which also leads me to think more of feederism style content. And it's interesting to see kind of the progression of this. She originally started out as a channel that was trying to lose weight, and I don't know how much her perspective has changed, but she's clearly not trying to lose weight anymore with all these mukbangs that she does. And it's pretty consistently not healthy food that she's eating. She's eating out so much. Just, See, this is, no, I said I would cover feederism, and I'm still willing to give it a shot, but like this sort of stuff, just hearing the slurping noises is a lot. We're gonna just kind of scroll through. So she doesn't talk anymore with her other, like, we're not seeing her stop and talk while she's holding her burrito or anything. She is scarfing this burrito down in like 3.5 minutes. That was a huge ass burrito. I can't imagine eating that much in 4 minutes. This guy says 4 minutes, chill out. I kind of agree with him. She's eating very quickly. And yeah, the slurping before the bite is like, it's a lot. And just in general, the fact that she's not talking while she's eating anymore, it's clear that this is less a mukbang, less an eat with me, and more feederism style content, because the focus is on the messiness of the food and the weird slurping noises she makes as she eats, which to me lend to, like, I'm not in the feederism community. I don't know the full scope of feederism, and I really don't know how much it, like I said, I would be willing to cover more feeders on TikTok, but I gotta be honest, I don't know how deep down this rabbit hole I want to go, because it's just one, it just grosses me out. In all honesty, it's just gross. I find this content gross and uncomfortable to watch. But Jellybean Sweets is kind of an interesting case, because she didn't start out in the feeder like the whole point of her TikTok, at least originally, was not necessarily to make feeder content, but it seems like it's progressed to that. It clearly, her eating was what got the most views and what got the most attention, so she started to eat more. She started to eat more fast food, and then it just seems like it's spiraled from there. But we're still only in July, so we have a few more months to get through. So again, more messy food, messier food, more canes, more of her drenching her food in cane sauce, more with drenching her food in cane sauce, or not cane sauce, but like sauces. Let's take a look. We're gonna take a look at Spend the Day with Jellybean, and then First Time at Cheesecake Factory.
Come spend the day with me. We had a very eventful and packed day. We started off the day by playing some mini golf at Putt Shack. Stopped by the bar to get these like mocktails, which honestly weren't that great. But I got one that was called like the Zero Painkiller. My sister had this one that was like a passion fruit flavored one. We played a total of 2 courses, which were like really similar, but the first was so packed with people that it was hard to even like move around. The second course was calmer, but it was very similar to the first. But honestly, it was really cool. Even though I haven't played mini golf for years and I definitely sucked at it, they had so many different cool courses, and they even had some that were like trivia questions or like these true or false questions. Pachek is connected to the mall, so we did some shopping afterwards. I found a few cute items in Fabletics, and then we did some dress shopping for my sister's upcoming cruise. Finding these 2 cute dresses. Blue is so pretty. And then we headed over to like a slightly bigger mall and went into the GameStop because I don't remember the last time I was inside a GameStop. Honestly, we didn't really find anything. It was fun looking around. We looked around at some clothes, some cute clothes. And there was also this cute shop that had a lot of like koi themed like snacks and different like hygiene products and stuff. It was just cute to explore, honestly. We were both so thirsty, so we went over to Auntie Anne's and we shared one of their large frozen lemonades. It's actually really good. And then we went to Dillard's and I picked up some swimmer items. We ended our day at Cheesecake Factory. This was actually the first time I've ever had Cheesecake Factory, and it was actually so good. We, of course, had to get those macaroni balls, and we also got fish tacos. My sister got some salmon, and then we ended it with this yummy cheesecake, the best part of the meal. It was so good.
So what's interesting is that like she covers the non-food stuff she did first before she ends with Cheesecake Factory, which is great. I mean, there's a little bit of food stuff sprinkled in there, but for the most part, she focuses on the events of the day and not on the food. But then she follows this up with a video just for the Cheesecake Factory. So let's take a look at that one.
Come with me and my sister to get Cheesecake Factory for the first time ever. Let me just say they had so many options. It was like hard to choose which things we wanted to get. But of course, I got a Dr. Pepper, and then we had to get the like viral mac and cheese balls that we've been seeing all over TikTok. They were so good and they were so cheesy. They definitely lived up to the hype. And then for my entree, I got these fried fish tacos. They were like little finger tacos. They were so good. They even had like some avocado in this orange sauce. I don't really know what it was, but it tasted good. And it came with buttered rice and black beans. The fish tacos were obviously my favorite part. Oh my god. It is. I'll just like buttered rice. Good. That's good. And then my sister got this lemon herb salmon on top of mashed potatoes.
So this isn't as bad as I thought. Just kind of going over dish by dish. Someone says, I love that you weren't rushing, which I think is kind of in relation to that video that we saw of her eating that humongous burrito in 4 minutes. And I think that this looks more like a normal way that she eats, which means that she's playing up her other ways of eating for the camera, which makes sense, but also kind of leads to that feederism sort of behavior, like at least feederism adjacent content that I mean it clearly gets her views. I'm just like, does she realize the road she's going down? You know, that's what I'm wondering. I'm like, do you realize like I clearly she's gotten attention for all of this. So I do wonder if she knows what she's gotten into, you know? But now we go back to her regular content, which is a bunch of food, fast food specifically. Let's see, we have I think it's something with wings. Think this is a continuation of this. Dunkin' Donuts, Chipotle. I'm guessing this is two or more Chipotle. Taco Bell. I'm guessing this is more Taco Bell. I don't know what this is. Chick-fil-A. My guess is more Chick-fil-A. I don't know what this is, but it's clearly she got more takeout. Um, Cane's, more wings, more Taco Bell, more Chick-fil-A, more Krispy Kreme now, more Taco Bell. And then she has this. All right, so we're going to take a look at these 3 videos here and see how things have changed. So definitely showing more of the food again. We're only like a couple weeks after. We're probably not going to watch all 4 minutes of this. So this is new. She's like showing herself drinking and like it's clear that she's purposefully drinking as much to create this visual, which I'm not entirely sure what to make of. And all that stuff to the point where it's dripping down and all over her fingers. Very different from what she had done before, which was carefully putting it on the top before she would take a bite and trying to make it to where it doesn't like slide down the bun, or not the bun, but like the outer portion of the burrito. But now like she just dumps a bunch of sauce on there and it's clear like she wants to get it on her fingers. I don't know if you guys can hear this. I don't know how well this is going to pick up on my recording, but the sounds are more than I can handle. But like she's devouring this burrito. Her like she's always taking like these really big bites. Her face is getting red too. Was her face red in the beginning? Maybe a little bit, but not as red as it got while she was eating. Look at how red her face is getting. Once again, she's not talking at all during this. She's taking the biggest bites she can. And someone said she ate 2 burritos in 4 minutes. I only see the one unless I missed where she's switched up to another burrito. This sounds like it hurts. I can't listen. I can't listen. It's okay to breathe. She does eat very quickly. The fact that she ate that humongous burrito in 4 minutes is insane. Y'all, I just realized she was eating those both at this. So she was eating. I thought it was just one big burrito too. So those were 2 burritos next to each other. God damn. So that's another escalation then in her content. She's now not eating just one burrito. She's smashing two together, putting a bunch of sauce, making sure that the sauce gets on her fingers. She's not talking anymore. She's taking the biggest bite she can. Her face visibly gets red while she's eating. And then there's sounds. There's sounds while she's like serious sounds while she's eating.
Taco Bell, of course, from the ASMR section. I got 2 grilled cheese burritos today. So good. There's some funny videos going around saying I make, what was it, 250K? I wish. I so wish. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. RPM is like how much you're paid per 1,000 views. My RPM is always below 10 cents. At least for the first week of the month, it might be like 30, 40 cents. And then as the month goes on, it lowers drastically. So right now, my average RPM is 7 cents. If you want to do the math, you can do the math. But yeah, not 250.
So we're gonna take her at her word. I'm bringing up a calculator. So she says she makes 7 cents. So we're looking at 7 cents per 1,000 views. So if we go 7 times 617, we're looking at that's the likes of this video. That's not even the views. How can I see the views? Wait. So she has, on this video, she has 18.3 million. So 1 million divided by 1,000 is 100. So, and she has 18.3 million, which means that's about about that much. 1,800. If you're grouping it in terms of 1,000 times 7 cents is 12,000. But that's changed. Now we divide that by 100. So she made $126 roughly on this video. Honestly, if that's the kind of money that she's making off these videos, because this is months old and she has 18.3 million. If this is the money that she's making, she is destroying her body for not much money at all. Like, I wouldn't approve of it necessarily if she was uh earning a lot more. I'm just saying it's like there has to be other motivations other than money for this. Because to get 18.3 million, and feel free to correct my, like, I'm not a great math person, so feel free to say that I did that wrong, but that doesn't seem like much money if my math was correct. And let's see, that was 18 million, but her big ones, 39 million, that seems to be a bigger one. It tends to range between 8 to 11 million. So this one's more of an outlier. Um, but even so, like, she's eating a lot, and what she makes, like, half of that goes to the cost of the food anyway. So I don't know. I just find this sad. Let's take a look at a non-food one from her.
That's my new DJI Osmo Pocket 3 camera.
For the record, I've looked into this camera because I saw a YouTuber that I like use it. It's $700. That camera is $700.
With me, I am beyond excited. Thinking about buying this for a little while now because it's literally a pocket camera. So it's really small, but it's got many settings and it's got a little gimbal too. And I like looked at all these videos, and yesterday I was like, I'm buying it. Like, I have to. It looks so cool. I got it at Best Buy because Amazon had like 2-week shipping, even for Prime members, and Best Buy said it'd be here literally today. It's like comes in a little carry case here. It's so much smaller than I actually thought it would be. Like, it literally fits in the palm of your hand.
Okay, so it's really just kind of her unboxing it. It's just her unboxing it. That's all that is. And she gets not nearly as many views as she does while she's eating. But and the thing is that she's probably making semi decent money because she posts so much and eats so much. But my question is, how, like, does she not have another job? I'd be surprised if she doesn't have another job. I wonder, like, I don't know, like, I would seriously wonder if she has kind of an OF also around this content. They had a cat cafe. Let's take a look at this one. Oh, this is Domino's in Taiwan. Someone mentioned here, imagine going halfway around the world to eat Domino's. I kind of agree. Girl, you're in Taiwan. Why the fuck are you like, I mean, I understand foods chains differ a bit to suit cultural tastes, but still, if you're in Taiwan, why go to Domino's? You know? Drinking half a can in one sip is crazy. Try a fruit mukbang. Please, healthy breakfast mukbang. I don't really want to watch her eat too much. So she's again not talking, taking huge bites, putting sauce on everything. It's really interesting to kind of see this progression into more feederism content. But what's also interesting is that, at least for her trip, she's posting non-eating content also. When the hate comments pay for my trip, let's take a look at this. Okay, I thought this was going to be more of her commenting on them, but it's just a montage of what she did in Taiwan, which isn't so bad. But if she's making enough to afford a trip to Taiwan, what I really got to know is, TikTok her only form of income? What if I never made a video trying chicken for the first time? More eating. This was, what is this?
Do you know how much I love you? I love you more than everything.
Everything.
So it's just something with a sound. Did you hear what they say about you? Let's see. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Yes, and then she's showing more video from Taiwan. Blackbird singing in the dead of. So that she doesn't say anything else, just yes and. So it shows her eating. Do you hear what they say about you? And then it's just showing her having a good time in Taiwan. There's one called Living, Not Surviving, but honestly just seems, let's see, where the cats outnumber the humans. Jellybean, are you happy? Of course, she's gonna claim she's happy. Once again, we have the burrito with the sauce all down and all over her fingers. Sometimes you just need to go to the beach. More and more food. So clearly her trip is over because she's just going back to eating a lot. And it looks like she may have saved some videos of her eating food in Taiwan. Let's see, having a supportive friend that helps you film TikToks, first time trying. I think this is supposed to be like a chocolate dumpling sort of thing. This, yep. So a lot of stuff from her trip, a lot, mostly just her eating, and then we reach the end. So we're gonna go ahead and watch. We're gonna watch these four, I think, and just we'll leave off there. So this is not to criticize her weight, it's just to point out that in a year, her weight has changed drastically. Look at the beginning of this video and then look at this. She's gained some weight from all of the food, like the junk food that she's eating. God, I can't handle the sounds. But dipping everything in sauce, no talking at all anymore. She just eats and drinks as much as like she's shoving food into her mouth, making it as messy as possible, like she had been like as progressively has gotten worse. One person says, "Girl, take a break." Person responds to gasps for air before each bite. God damn it! Now I can't stop hearing it. This is why I can't actually watch these videos too much because I can't handle the noise. The skin, the weight gain, the finger weight gain. I mean, I've noticed it too. The nodding after every bite gets it's very like reminds me of Amber Lynn, where whenever she tried something, she would get wide eyed and then she would go nod and go, yep, yep, that sort of thing. Help, slow down. Why is that pizza so floppy? Jellybean Sweets, it's time to go on a winter arc. That pizza does raw. Miss your Just Dance content. Calm down. Girl, don't do this to me. I just forced ground turkey and beans down my throat. Real. And then people are laughing. Okay, so let's see the next one.
I am so excited. Chili's invited me out to try their triple dipper with their new secret menu item, the honey chipotle fried mozzarella. These look so good, so let's dig in. So let's go in for the honey chipotle fried mozzarella first. Get a good dip on the ranch.
I don't like it. No, and it's interesting that Chili's says hi queen. So clear, like this was, it's even marked as a paid partnership. At least I will give her this. She said up front that Chili's invited and is therefore kind of like a sponsor of the video. Like I think she was fairly upfront with that. I think it's unfortunate that I don't know if like Chili's realizes that she's towing the line in some kind of fetishy content. I think you kind of have to like I only know roughly what feederism videos sort of look like, and she definitely seems to be going down that. But I love that this person says, "Am I the only one that chokes on any mozzarella sticks?" No, I choke on them too, dear. Chili's in Japan, getting paid to eat is a dream. I actually think getting paid to eat is kind of dangerous, personally. I guess it kind of depends on the type of job that it is, but I don't know. I don't like it.
This is everything I ate on my China Airlines business class flight. First, they gave us this juice, which I think was guava, but I wasn't a big fan of it. Then they gave us this fruit and nut mix, which was like almost all raisins. To start the meal, they brought out the appetizer, which included lobster salad, fresh salad with vinaigrette dressing, and lots of bread. This first bread was the jasmine tea orange bread. It was so soft and I really enjoyed it. The salad was very simple, but it was also very fresh, and I loved the cute little vinaigrette dressing. The lobster salad was pretty good, but it was served cold, and I think if it was served warm, it actually would have tasted better. Then they brought out even more bread. I think my favorite was this garlic bread. It was so buttery. They also brought out a hearts of palm and bamboo fungus chicken soup. This was my first time trying bamboo fungus, so I wasn't sure what to expect, but I liked it. The texture was a little odd, but it tasted good. Then came the main dish, which I chose the filet mignon with truffle butter and mustard sauce served with tomato gratin, pan-fried potatoes, and seasonal vegetables. This was my first time having a filet mignon, and I enjoyed it, but I wish it was cooked a little longer. Seasonal vegetables were pretty good, but I will say the potato was slightly undercooked and a little harder than I like. The tomato gratin was good, but I don't think I'm a fan of cooked tomatoes. Then came a plate of seasonal fruit and brie and Asago cheese. In my opinion, I think the Asago paired best with the fruit. They then let me choose between Haagen-Dazs ice cream or this beautiful raspberry lemon cake. So of course I chose the raspberry lemon cake. The presentation alone was amazing, and it was probably one of the best pieces of cake I've had. Because this was an 11-hour flight, they also served us breakfast. The set I chose included soybean milk richer muesli, whole wheat bread with walnuts, an almond croissant, seasonal fruits, and then pan-fried salmon served with truffle scrambled egg on an English muffin, and then more seasonal vegetables. I think my favorite was probably the soybean milk bircher muesli, even though I still have no idea what that was, but I really enjoyed the taste. The English muffin was a bit soggy, but then the salmon and the eggs were actually really good. And then, even though it wasn't shown on the menu, they also gave us...
So we're just gonna stop it there. But honestly, like, this is a little bit more interesting. This is less fetishy sort of content to me. And I like that she's a bit slower with her eating in this video instead of like scarfing down two burritos in 4 minutes. And honestly, some of that food I haven't even heard of before, so it was interesting. But more than anything, like, a lot of people like that she's a lot slower with this, and a lot of people have expressed that they don't actually like her mukbangs. I don't know. This is interesting. This one wasn't so bad.
We have some more Universal Yums, so let's get into this. First thing we got is their 24-day advent calendar, and there is a different candy for every day. They have, this is a pomegranate jelly candy. Milk chocolate eclair.
I've actually thought about getting this advent calendar myself, so I don't really want to know everything that's in it. And then it looks like she had a Universal Yum box as well. I'll be honest, my family actually had Universal Yums, not the big one like this. We just had the little sample ones. But we only had it for like 6 months because we loved the first one. It was all Korean snacks, and I really enjoyed a lot of them. They were really good. And then after that, like, I don't remember all of the ones that we got after that. I just remember that we didn't like them as much as we liked the Korean box. And it gets expensive for stuff you're not that crazy about. Like, it's interesting, but for me, it wasn't worth the money. I have thought about getting the advent calendar though. For me though, with the people that do the reviews of the advent calendar, like, I like it, but I kind of wish that they had like two where you get to see everything, but then one where they just kind of like a shortened version where they kind of give their opinion on everything that was in without revealing everything that was in the advent calendar. Because I'm not typically big on surprises, but when I go grab an advent calendar, it's like one of the controlled surprise things that I like. So I don't really want to know everything that's in the advent calendar. It's interesting because this one and the last one seem to be a deviation from her traditional videos, but given that we've seen that in the past, I don't think this is an indication that she's changing her content at all. And I don't know, I feel like a lot of people say they don't even like her mukbangs, which means she must have a fair amount of people in her DMs probably encouraging this. Because I don't get the feeling that she hasn't talked much about like fat phobia or fat acceptance or any of that. She's primarily eating. and she's eating quickly, she's eating noisily, she's eating sloppily, and it's clear it looks like some sort of feederism sort of content. Now, granted, I'm not a big partaker of feederism content, so I could be wrong with that, but that's what it looks like to me, and it gets gross. So I can't help but feel like this is a situation where this young woman doesn't understand what she's getting into. I find it interesting that the email is labeled as adam@undercurrent.net, which is interesting. And then there's a Snapchat link, which I don't want to click on. It says Just Dance and Mukbang Girl, but she hasn't done Just Dance videos in over a year. Um, I don't know. There's something about this that seems like I'm watching someone decline and not realize that they're in a toxic situation. And no matter what you tell her, she's not going to believe you. And I am genuinely kind of concerned for Jellybean Sweets. But sorry this wasn't as interesting as I was kind of hoping it would be. But it was interesting for at least for me to look through this and kind of see this progression in her videos. She posts a lot, she eats a lot, and while she makes clearly makes some money from it, I just am questioning how much money she makes. You know? Because I mean, she does post a lot, but I do wonder how much money she actually makes from this. It feels like she's heading down a dangerous path to me. But I'd love to hear your opinions. So let's move on to manhwa. So I have not read the new Remarried Empress one, and I don't think I read the new One Husband Is Enough yet. I definitely read the newest one of Not Your Typical Reincarnation Story, which was interesting and things are progressing along. But with all of these, they're just kind of progressing along, and there isn't much to say right now. The reason for the Twin Ladies Disguise, I've still only read a couple of them, but one thing that I do like is that the female character is, well, one, she's already been found out. Like, we're 4 chapters in, and she's already been found out. And kind of revealed her weakness a little bit in the process. And so she's likely going to become a target for others. But also, what was interesting is that she's a very talented swordsman. And it's in a world where women can't be knights. And it's interesting. This is clearly going to be like her overcoming that, that, to me, what it seems like it's going to be is that she's going to prove herself over and over again. Her identity is going to become better known, and she's going to get a lot of respect, probably from the prince and those that are um, more in the higher classes of society, which might allow her to become the first knight. That's my guess of where this is going. But something else, and I didn't realize that I hadn't subscribed to it yet. So this is one that I actually had. I borrowed a physical copy from the library and adored it, and so I'm reading it ahead now online. Um, and it's this person that was destined for hell meets Satan. Satan is like, hey, you're supposed to go to the ninth ring of hell, one of the lowest rings of hell, but I'm gonna give you a chance to be a reaper instead, and you'll be able to see sinners. They will be marked with an X, and you have to kill one sinner each day. And from there, we're learning so far. I'm about 16 to 20 chapters in, somewhere in that realm. And so far she's killed a couple of people. Her memories are slowly coming back. It doesn't seem like she fully remembers who she was before she died. But she's getting some memories back, and it seems like shady people that she was involved with before she died are also aware of Grim Reapers and even have a Grim Reaper that is employed, which I found was interesting. And then she's working with a sinner who doesn't seem like a bad guy yet. And something that I really like about this, what this series has already shown, is that these guys that seem perfectly fine, perfectly harmless. There was one that was like her very first kill, and it was this guy. They kind of almost had like a little date sort of thing. Very charming, innocent looking. Was trying to lure. She didn't realize it, but he was trying to lure her back to his apartment. She's like, "No, I'm gonna go home." He goes, "Hey, I'll walk you home." They end up in an alley, and she's like, "Hey, time's ticking. I'm sorry, but you're a sinner, so I have to kill you." She kills him, only to learn that his MO was taking girls out for like fun little dates and then luring them back to his apartment to kill them. and it kind of opens her eyes to how looks can be deceiving. It sounds very cliche, but it was actually very well done. And I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to seeing where else this goes. And then finally, we have Tappy Tunes, which I have not been staying on top of all of my series very well lately, so I don't have a whole lot to say. I've honestly been far more interested in manga and webtoons right now than I have in these, but um, I have still been following like my utmost favorite series, which is How to Reject My Obsessive Ex-Husband, Divorcing My Tyrant Husband, and The Empress Wants to Avoid the Emperor. Now, this is kind of just becoming cutesy slice of life almost sort of situation, except for royals. So like it's kind of fallen into a lull. How to Reject My Obsessive Ex-Husband. There seems to have been some clear up with the misunderstanding between them and the miscommunication and their differing perspectives. Like that's been cleared up somewhat, like not completely, but we're getting a little bit more insight into how they viewed their previous lives. But she's very clear. I will not marry you again, um, unless my family approves of you, because in her previous life she had no one. She had no one on her side, and that's kind of why she put up with a lot from him. But now she has a very solid family backing that loves her very dearly. So she's like, I'm not disappointing them for you. And so he has to kind of win them over, and their perspective is that we will honor whatever our daughter wants. So he's kind of in this situation where it's like, I need to win over her family, but I can't win over her family without winning her over, but I can't win her over without winning her family over. So he's kind of in this tough spot. But also, her family is friend with another noble family, and she is friends with their son. And they basically grew up together, and there's this kind of half almost betrothal, not like an official betrothal, but it's like a general understanding that hasn't completely gone away, and that makes him jealous, and he is trying to navigate his jealousy without being toxic. So it's an interesting thing to watch kind of unfold. Divorcing My Tyrant Ex-Husband seems to be heading for the climax. We see that the priest is looking to basically destroy the whole world. He doesn't want to be God. He just wants to watch the world burn, very Joker-esque. And uh, she has charmed so many people that a bunch of people are coming to her aid for it, basically. And we'll see how things continue to unfold from there. But that's about where we are with those. Oh, and Honey Bear. Honey Bear, we're getting a lot into past relationship trauma and how that affects the relationships in the present. Well, his relationship in the present, I don't think, dated anyone before they got together. But we're seeing how the past comes back to haunt him some and how that stops him from having a fully functioning relationship, really. So that part's kind of interesting. But other than that, there's not much else to say. So, with that, I think we're going to end it here. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.